this tip, I wanted to talk a little bit about images. So, as part of kind of talking about the way that performance can really affect usability, you have to deal with the patience a lot of times that users have in dealing with a page. And so one of the things I see a lot, especially if you're using SharePoint for a publishing site, maybe you have some design around an intranet, or you're allowing people to publish articles or different things, is that most people don't really understand the concepts of the internet, and that images can cause a lot of issues, because a lot of times when they grab issues, whether they download it from somewhere, or they grab it, or it's a picture that they took or whatever like that, that doesn't come naturally compressed. Otherwise, if I'm on my iPhone and I take a picture and I have my iPhone set as high res, and that picture ends up being like 2, 3, or 4 megabits, then I upload that picture. Well, now for that page to load where that picture shows, I now have to show download 4 megabits. So what we end up having is, a lot of times we see situations like this where, obviously this is a very exaggerated picture and the picture is really big. But typically what would happen is people would then use, like, let's say you were using the WYSIWYG inside SharePoint, you might use that to compress it down. What you're doing is you're actually compressing down the dimensions, the height and width of the image, but you're not actually compressing the image down itself. So you can see with this image right here, if we look at the properties, we actually see, well, this is actually almost a 2 meg image that's showing up here. So when putting images on the web, including SharePoint, you have to teach people that are going to do that about how to do it well, which is including using some type of compression tool or whatever it is. And so in this particular instance, not only is the picture just smaller, but it's also been compressed, in that you see that now it's basically the exact same picture, but now it's actually 196K instead of 1.6 megs in that. So when you're putting images on the web, you always need to be careful as to not make the images way too big and not to have too large a file size. You can use things like one of the Adobe products. There's a ton of different products out there that you can use to compress down images, but it's a very, very important part of making the user experience good.